Bracketology presented by Dave Campbell's Texas Football, breaking down the 2023 Texas High School Football Playoff brackets. My name is Greg Tepper, and this little bad boy's name is 5A Division II, with an interesting group of teams here that are all kind of trending in different directions. And that's not even to mention the team that's the two-time defending winner of this bracket in South Oak Cliff down here in Region 2. They're interesting, but they have maybe the toughest draw of any defending state champ. It is a absolute just gauntlet that they're thrown into. We'll get to them in a moment. You've got a wide open region up here. You've got a wide open region with maybe a small favorite here. And then down here in Region 4, who the heck knows? Tons of wide open here. And if you look on TexasFootball.com, this is the bracket where our 5 predictors have 5 different state champions. It's that unpredictable, which means it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go to Region 1. Region 1, undisputedly, the power nexus here is District 3 and probably the top of District 4. So District 3, you're talking about Argyle, right? Team that won the region last year, got a big win over Frisco Emerson a couple of weeks ago. They look like the team to beat out of District, certainly out of District 3, and I think they got a pretty nice draw here into the regional semifinals, although Abilene Wiley could give them trouble in an area-round matchup. Colleyville Heritage, the champions of District 4, a team to keep an eye on, a team that, again, I think when they play their paper, they're one of the most dangerous teams in this entire region. They are a team to keep an eye on. Up at the top half of the bracket, this first-round match between Grapevine and Frisco Emerson is really intriguing. Wichita Falls Rider is a team that, of course, has historically made deep runs. Can they do it again in their final year as a program? And then down here, Lake Dallas, a team that I think people are maybe sleeping on. Remember, they won in Week 10 against Frisco Emerson, an opportunity to grab that second spot, and I think an easier draw. Frisco Emerson, again, are they ready for prime time? We've seen them start very hot. They stumbled a little bit down the stretch. Can they get their wheels back on? This is a really intriguing region with kind of a disparity between teams with a ton of pedigree and teams with almost none. How much does pedigree matter? Down to Region 2, and let's talk about the two-time defending state champs, the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears, which you find right here. There is not a state champion in the state of Texas who got a tougher draw than the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears. I just don't think that that's up for debate. Every one of their games is challenging. First round matchup against Everman, challenging. Second round matchup against a team that was number 1 for the entire year until week 11 in Melissa. That's a second round matchup potentially if they can get past White House. And then they can see a team like Midlothian Heritage, which is a team that I think everybody's forgotten about in this region, a very dangerous team in Midlothian Heritage. That is a team that I am really high on and I think has an opportunity to make a deep run. Whoever makes it out of here is going to have to deal with somebody who has survived the gauntlet down here. Lovejoy, the team that knocked off Melissa back in week 11, they are probably the favorite down here. I think that they look like the strongest team. Texas High, what do you make of their week 11 stumble against Longview Pine Tree? That's a really intriguing question. I still like the upside there, but that second round matchup with Mansfield Summit looms very large. Lovejoy, I think, is the favorite on the bottom half of this bracket. If South Oak Cliff can survive this gauntlet, they will have certainly earned their way back to a state semifinal and probably AT&T Stadium. Over to Region 3. On the Region 3 side, you've got a team that played for a state championship last year in Port Neches Groves, and they have survived through injuries and look very strong right now, playing their best football right now. You've also got a newcomer in Montgomery Lake Creek. Still a young program, but one of the most dynamic offenses in the state of Texas. Tyvon Byers, their running back, has been terrific. They have a variety of different weapons. This is a really intriguing potential regional semifinal there between Port Neches Groves and Montgomery Lake Creek. Down here at the bottom half of the bracket, you got a first round matchup between Richmond Randall and Fort Bend Marshall. Fort Bend Marshall, I think, has had a bit of a disappointing season, but can they turn it on when it matters most? That first round matchup with Richmond Randall is a very dangerous matchup. The winner of that likely gets a Belton team that won the very rough and tumble District 11. What happens then? This Belton team, I think, has a very high upside. Bottom half of this region, I really like what Texas City brings to the table. I think they look like the favorite down here if they can get by a tough first round matchup with Huntsville. And then keep an eye on Pflugerville and Austin LBJ. Interesting first round matchup, Austin LBJ. I think the champions of District 12, but are they tested? Pflugerville is a team that won their way in on week 11. Can they continue that momentum into the playoffs? On to Region 4. On Region 4, you're going to be paying a lot of attention, I think, to District 13. Okay, District 13 is the San Antonio Piper, Liberty Hill, Lockhart, and San Antonio Veterans Memorial District. That is where I think the power nexus lies, with the exception of one other team, the Mules of Alamo Heights, right here. That team, I think, has an opportunity to make a very deep run, very dangerous, but that second round matchup with Gregory Portland, a team that has played very well at times and also has a couple of stumbles. If they play up to their capability, that's a very interesting area round matchup between Alamo Heights and Gregory Portland. Keep an eye on Mission Veterans Memorial, a team that's playing their best football right now. Corpus Christi Flower Bluff took down Gregory Portland in Week 11 to win District 15. They are brimming with confidence right now. I like the San Antonio Burbank team as well. And as you're looking for a team to dream on, Sherilyn Pioneer is up there as well, the champions of District 16. And of course, you cannot count out Liberty Hill. Liberty Hill, the slot T is the devil. They've been inconsistent all year, but when they put it together, they are one of, just schematically and talent-wise, they're one of the most difficult teams in the state to game plan for. So Region 4 is dripping with intrigue. In fact, the entire bracket is dripping with intrigue. What do you do up here, right? Is Argyle going to go back to back? Can Frisco Emerson get their wheels back on? What about Grapevine or Colleyville? Down here, the South Oak Cliff Gauntlet, can they run through again to make it back to AT&T Stadium? Up here, do you go with the established power in Port Neches Groves, or a team like Montgomery Lake Creek or Belton, or can Fort Bend Marshall get their wheels back on? Things like that. And down here in Region 4, who wins out of this wide variety as far as regions are concerned, as far as geographic regions are concerned? Do you like the San Antonio teams, the Central Texas team? Is there a team from the Valley that can surprise people? San Antonio is a really interesting group of teams in 5A Division II. It's been one of the most unpredictable classifications all year long in our rankings, and it doesn't show any sign of slowing now that we're in the playoffs. No matter what happens, we'll have you covered every step of the way at TexasFootball.com.